Hi, this is Dr. Schmidt at the Nutritional Healing Center. So this graph right here was given to me by a guy who we were debating back and forth, and I was saying ketosis is healthy and animal fat is good and meat is good. And he was saying a plant-based diet is good and that meat is bad, etc. So he sent this to me and I looked at it and I observed it. And let me just kind of go over this with you. It's kind of important to know, but there's a lot of research in here. There's a lot of money spent. All these lines here, those are probably multiple studies. And then on the far right, we have all these things being studied. And so what we're looking at is, at the very bottom, it says adjusted hazard ratio for incident CVD, cardiovascular disease. So if you have you're testing something against the human body, if it shows up as a 1.0 in the math of this statistical analysis, 1.0 shows neither benefit nor harm. So there's only one thing here that's of benefit, that's 0.91. Everything else is above 1.0, meaning harm. So what is it that we're looking at? Well, here we have HDL, high density lipoprotein. And then the next one is medium HDL, medium size. Here we have LDL. The NMR is actually a machine that measures the particle size. All right, so all these are, the L part, the last L in these names is lipoprotein. Lipo means fat, protein means protein. These are fats and proteins combined. And this guy was saying to me, look, eating fat is bad, protein is bad. Just eat carbs, only eat plants. So when you look at this compilation of studies, and this could have cost hundreds of millions of dollars or billions of dollars, and I'm sure dozens of people or hundreds of people got their PhDs from some work in here that they did. So here we have apolipoprotein, that's kind of like an LDL. And then the third from the worst is triglycerides. So here's the deal. So when your body's burning fat, it takes triglycerides out from storage and then carries it around with LDL. So when you go into ketosis, the first thing that comes down is triglycerides. I've seen it over and over and over again. And then the second from worst thing is an apolipoprotein B. And third one is a total cholesterol divided by HDL. So let's say your total cholesterol is 300, very high, and your HDL is 30. So now your ratio is 10. Now if you go into ketosis, you bring your total cholesterol down to 200, and you raise your HDL up to 100, now your ratio is 2. So that is the worst thing you can have, is a high ratio of total versus HDL, and that's at 2.82 hazard ratio. Okay, now all these people who use this graph to show how bad eating fat and protein is, there's one thing to say that sort of negates the whole argument. And here's what that is. Okay, number one, the most dangerous thing your body metabolizes first is alcohol. That's natural. Okay, so evolutionary speaking, people would eat fruit that was fermented, they would get drunk, and it turned into alcohol in their body. It's called alcohol fermentation. Okay, the second most dangerous thing your body metabolizes next is carbohydrates or sugar. And then once that's gone from your blood, then it metabolizes the fats. Lastly, it metabolizes protein. So if you keep your carbohydrates up, like the standard American diet for 75 years, all these things to your right, all these LDL, the lipoproteins and the cholesterol, all that stuff, it stays high. It stays non-metabolized. Your body doesn't deal with that, as long as it has to deal with alcohol first and carbohydrates second. So there, this right here, this graph has been used by all the leaders in medicine and nutrition, etc., and they've just interpreted it incorrectly. Okay, so when you look at this, your interpretation is, oh, in order to get these fats down, I need to stop the alcohol and the carbohydrates. Then my body will get to the fats and lower the bad stuff and raise the good stuff and normalize all the ratios. Okay, there's my lesson with this graphic. Now you know more than 99% of the medical doctors and healthcare practitioners in the country on this one subject. All right, if you like this information, please give me a thumbs up, share, and subscribe.